So, hello everybody. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here and to sit here with my guests and panelists. I will shortly introduce them, and then they will speak about their topics, and then we are going to discuss a bit more in detail what's going and what is it. What is covered under the material self-sufficiency. So, on my right hand, I would like to introduce Marta Vinhas. That is representative of CzecHemp, which is a regenerative fashion brand. Marta has 20 years experience with textile industry. And she seems to me to be a passionate hemp fashion pioneer, let's say, in Portugal. Yeah. Next to her, I would like to introduce Galina Elchaninova. Pardon? Shastan. Okay. That is representing Andritz Laroche, which is a quite well-known, bigger scale industry company that works in the field of non-wovens and fiber raffination, processing, cottonization, recycling. So things that are very important for us to be somehow incorporated in our hemp business. Next to Galina, there is Michal Marchuk, representing Ukraine hemp. Michal wrote that he's passionate about sustainable innovations. So, yeah, you wrote it. We will see how much passionate you are, but definitely he's a managing partner at Papax. He's going to speak about what Papax is, and he's as well deputy director of EMBA, which is European Material Bank. That is one of the institutions or the main institution that is behind the Ukrainian hemp project. And last but not least, is Maciej Kowalski from Kombinat Konopny, Polish frontrunner, as I wrote to my LinkedIn, who is already over 15 years involved in the hemp industry and really somehow paving the path for our efforts in hemp and in diverse uses of hemp. So Maciej will speak about his experience with Kombinat Konopny.
Thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure speaking here. Nice to meet you all. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of new faces, which is always great to see. So my presentation is called today Perpetually Renewable. And I don't want to pitch you our company today. I don't want to speak too much about our company. I want to pitch the industry of hemp. This is the reason why I'm here today. I want to speak about pros and cons and what is actually limiting us into expanding and accelerating this industry even more. Michael, when he introduced me, he said that I'm in management positions of multiple companies. Indeed, this is like this. So I have the privilege to observe this from different perspectives. I can observe the industrial hemp industry as a producer of hemp, as a company that utilizes hemp, and as a company that invests into businesses related to hemp. And there are pros and cons in every one of them. So let's start. Let's start with a question. What do these two products have in common? Bioethanol, cosmetic pads, two completely different products. Both are made from renewable biomass. In fact, both can be made from industrial hemp. This is obvious. We can use one biomass to produce these two products. And there is much more behind this. So all of these products, as you can see, and you probably know it. We have some hemp professionals here sitting. I don't have to convince you, but you know that it's an incredibly versatile plant. We can use this material to produce a lot of end products, textiles, paper, bedding, building blocks, composites, whatever. All of this could be made from industrial hemp. Why aren't we producing more products from hemp? Big question. Why is it taking so slow? I heard some people today were speaking about the supply. Actually, if we compare the medical cannabis industry, the size of the market is around $20 billion. Industrial hemp market size, anybody knows? Only 6. How is it possible we have so much money in medical cannabis and we have so little money in industrial hemp? And by the way, in medical cannabis, 50% is venture capital. So the industry is much likely to be financed by risk capital, which is very important and gives this big growth to this industry. Well, in case of industrial hemp, there are 2 main reasons, from my point of view, why this industry is not developing that fast. So reason number 1, resource availability. Somebody has been saying this already today. The chicken and egg problem, you know, the big guys that want to get started with small quantities, they need big amounts, otherwise you're not interesting for them, difficult to talk, and so on and so on. Great example, Procter & Gamble. So what do they say? First of all, they introduce 1.5 million metric tons of paper packaging into the market every year. This is the, by the way, PG investors report from last year, 1.5. And only 21% of this quantity is virgin pulp. In other words, paper. In other words, wood. So what do they say? They say we have an aim that 100% of our paper packaging will contain certified virgin content, basically be fresh paper. Great aim, very ambitious, awesome. Reality. From Mr. John Bell, Director, European Commission, studies suggest that the gap between the potential demand for biomass and the sustainable supply is as big as 40 to 70%. Strange, 70%. Isn't that what Procter & Gamble was aiming for, actually? The reality is we do not have the biomass to completely revolutionize the supply chain and turn it sustainable, basically going away from artificial materials into sustainable alternatives. This is the reality. So it's a completely underdeveloped industry, and there is a reason why I did not put too much focus here on industrial hemp, and I've parked it under renewable materials. But we know from the previous slide, hemp is the renewable material that can be applied in a lot of industries simultaneously. So this was the problem number one. Number 2, missing technology. Why? Because biomass production and processing is a sort of a upside down process. Why is it an upside down process? Well, if we're producing a car with you guys, we're bringing thousands of elements into one factory to produce one car. With biomass, it's the other way around. We bring one biomass or one plant into the factory and produce thousands of materials from this plant. We saw beautiful examples of plasma today. It was amazing to hear. It really was a top presentation. Unfortunately, there is a problem. On each of these steps, anything that we want to touch, produce, or do from industrial hemp, we need technology. It's going to be very trivial technology, or it can be very complex technology. I'm sure we will be speaking about this today too. But the fact is, there is no technology. It's either been largely underdeveloped, or is very expensive, or is very inaccessible. Million reasons. But this is the fact. So we have the supply of material, and we have the missing technology to actually process this material, to introduce it into diverse industries like we saw in the previous slide. So with these 2 challenges in mind, and now I come in, Michael, you've introduced me also as the partner at the European Material Bank, which is correct. We focus on projects where we can invest and introduce materials into circular economy, where we can identify an opportunity, for example, hemp, and introduce it into an existing production chain. And we did it with one showcase project that we did in Ukraine. We started in 2021. Before the war, as you know, the situation in Ukraine is pretty horrific. But Michael, there should be a video playing, but it's not. I have technical error. Maybe I have to click on something. No, doesn't matter. No video. We're fine. Yeah. You can watch it on other streams. So we've basically set up a project where we've invested into a production site. We've built it completely from scratch in order to plant industrial hemp, process industrial hemp, and introduce this material into diverse industries, into many industries. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. But this is the crucial factor. I was sitting here and watching these wonderful presentations for a while, and I saw a trend that many companies or people are trying to compete with your industrial hemp material against an existing material, especially from the construction industry. Someone was saying, yeah, but it must be cheaper, or it must be stronger, or it must be... You're trying to compete against a material which is 60 years on the market. For example, in our case, against plastics. It's very difficult if you're investing or if you're producing a hemp-based package, either if it's from paper or from composites, to compete against an industry which is over 60, 70 years on the market. So the suggestion is develop new industries, develop new applications that are characteristic to industrial hemp. Don't try to compete with your material against another material. It will take a lot of time. Pick industries where you have low technological barrier and high margin. And there is a lot. I just made some of the people that are on the screen are sitting in this very room. Admirable projects, very interesting projects. And all of this can be served if we complete the two challenges: material availability, basically planting hemp, and technological access to technology to break down this plant, as you can see, through the entire vertical and utilize every element of this plant into diverse industries. This will ensure the economical sense of this business. This will ensure the investment logic into this business, if we observe it, because the worst thing you can do is plant hemp for one reason, just one thing. If you want to do one product and you plant this industrial hemp, it's just not going to work. A lot of people will hate to hear this, but the investments into hemp production and processing are incredibly low, and this is for one reason: the math often do not make any sense. There is no margin, there is no ROI. It's very difficult business to invest. If we look the investment landscape into industrial hemp businesses, we have textile companies in USA raising $10 million for fashion line from hemp, but we cannot source $3 million for a decortication plant. Do you feel me? Yeah, so this is, of course, it has a reason, because the math does not add up. But we can change it if we identify products with added value, with margin. Again, in our case, I just can say what we do. We've completed this through processing industrial hemp, this is the same plant I showed you in the previous slide, into a package. This package is made from 100% industrial hemp, the one I'm holding here. And of course, the application is huge. We can produce food packaging, we can produce transportation packaging, security packaging, and so on and so on and so on and so on. But this is only been possible through targeted mission to utilize industrial hemp material and access a niche, a margin, basically a niche of products with a higher margin to make the whole project interesting and economically viable. And this is our message for today. Invest in industrial hemp biomass. It's definitely a very big thing, and it takes a lot of time. The lead time is long. I feel the pain, but it's coming. It's coming. Invest in processing technology. So as you saw, there are endless opportunities, and there's literally zero opportunity or basically technological offer to process this. Expand circular economy, create products that can be utilized in a circular sense. Establish supply chain for renewables. So this is something that we want to share with you today. Thank you for your attention. The reason I probably started this panel is because I have a little bit broader approach to the industry. And now I would like to give the word to my colleagues here. Yeah? Or
Thank you very much, Michal. Thank you. Yeah, definitely it was a great introduction. And I would like to hear the response from Galina, and because she's going to show us some machines. So the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. My name is Galina. Hello. Is it okay like that? Yeah. So my name is Galina Elchaninova. I come from France and from Russia. I represent Andritz La Roche, but also several European machine-making companies for a light industry, mainly for pulp and paper, nonwovens and textiles, composites and biocomposites, construction, and so on. So I'm here thanks to the invitation I received from Hannah. Thank you. We met in Champagne last year in June during first international hemp event in Champagne region in France. We decided together with Andritz La Roche team to come here and to accept the invitation. So, bast fiber process for eco-friendly solutions. Everything started in the field, together with our French customers. They came to us in the 70s and asked us to make something with their waste. It started from flax. So we started to cottonize flax waste. And with our cottonizing lines, I think they are well known everywhere. They are installed in France, in Belarus, in Russia, Ukraine, not yet, but soon, I hope, in the United States, and so on. Then, 10 years ago, thanks to our customers, we started to work with hemp, even before, I think, yeah. They came with the same question: what can we do with our waste? It was a straw. And we have developed, we have applied our cottonization technology to the straw. So we started with straw, which is composed of fibers, in theory 30 up to 40% of fibers, and of chive, 60 up to 75% of chive. But it's only a theoretical figure, because when we start decorticate and refine the straw, we lose a lot. You have dust, stones, seeds, herbs, and so on. So we started with hemp decortication line, and we applied all the fibers we refined to our technologies, because we are well known in non-woven industry, not only in recycling. So with the help of hemp fiber, we can do a lot of things. It can be insulation panels in buildings. It can be automotive felts from hemp too. It can be a very interesting new product, geotextile out of hemp fiber, refined hemp fiber. thanks to our water entanglement technology under Sperfujet. So for us, it's a new product coming in France and soon in Europe. Another one, we are very proud of it. We have developed it together with our customers, thanks to their ideas. It's a non-woven felt for aging and for vibes. So we can replace cotton fiber with hemp cottonized fiber, and you can mix it with viscose or with cotton fiber. So here have a felt with 65% of cottonized hemp fiber. Together with our French customers, we have developed cottonized fiber for yarn, for cotton spinning mills. We have developed another technology thanks to our French customer Forestia in automotive, in plastic injection reinforcement. We use a small fiber, a very fine one, as cellulosic part in bioplastics. And for sure, the first market which always existed in France, and it's paper, pulp and paper. And when we speak about our decortication technology, you need to know that we will generate a lot of chives. We have decided to transform this byproduct into co-product. And together with our customers, we have developed a calibration system and a cleaning system to separate chives from little small fibers and from dust, because the market developed so quickly and there was a boom for hemp chives. And right now, the chives market for building, for hempcrete, for hemp block, and so on is growing very rapidly. So you can use chives everywhere in building, together with water and lime. You can make hempcrete blocks, hempcrete sandwich panels, and so on. And there are a lot of advantages of hempcrete building materials. It is breathable, and it doesn't burn. We can develop this subject for 1 year, but I will go on with my presentation.
There is going to be a panel after,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we don't have to go
but
to
it's
it.
my favorite subject right now. So, to sum up, our decortication and refining process, it starts from your straw. We can process both retted and unretted straw in square bales or in round bales. We will cut it if it is not cut in field, and then we will open it. We will decorticate. Decortication means separating chives from fibers, from woody parts. Yeah, and then after one decortication line, it can be 5 tons an hour capacity, input capacity. It can be 2.5 tons input capacity. You will obtain a very good paper quality fiber. You can stop here. It is good for filters, for banknotes, for passports, for special pulp and paper. Then, if you go to non-wovens or to textile market, you will need to clean it and to open more and to refine this fiber together with La Roche refining system. And you can stop here because you will have a very good cleaned fiber with 1, 2, 3, 5% of chives, depending on your resin quality, depending on your seeds and so on, depending on your climate. You can stop, you can sell this fiber, or you can make non-wovens for automotive, for furniture, mattresses, and so on. But you can go further together with La Roche, Andritz La Roche technology. It's our cottonizing process. We will transform your refined, cleaned hemp fiber into cotton, natural or bleached. We can do both. Here is an example of one decortication and refining line, starting from square bales. So It's a typical line for 2.5 ton input capacity for rated or unrated straw, I repeat, but it must be dry. It must be 20 up to 60% of humidity. And it must be cut. You have to cut it in field or together with guillotine. We can add a guillotine. So the maximum length of the straw we accept at La Roche decortication line will be 50 centimeters long. Then you will go to first decortication line, starting with our bale buster, then BFBO bale opener, then double step cleaner NB60, then XL picker, then NB60, and then the fibers will be transported by pipes to the second line. It will be a refining line, starting from feeder, then double XL picker with pins, then shoot feed, then NB60, and then you will bale it. It's very important to know that the whole system is completely automatic. You will not need any operator. Only one to feed and only one to receive the final product and bale. And it's very important to know that the hemp straw is very dusty. So it's really important to put a good air filtration unit.
Galina, excuse me. Just I have to remind you about the time, yeah?
Yeah, okay, I will go on.
So
And here's the typical cottonizing process, starting from fiber. It can be very good fiber, less than 5% chives. It can be even more dirty fiber, up to 20-30% of chives. You will clean before, then you will cottonize. You will see here a blending box. It's very important for us to blend the fibers in order to have a good quality. And now we propose everything now online. It's a calibrating, cleaning process and packing machines for hemp chives for different qualities. It can be mulching, it can be animal bedding, it can be construction quality. So I will finish.
Skip something.
So, what is the advantage to work with André's team, André's La Roche team? We propose a whole turnkey solution with no operators, with low consumption energy, and with a guarantee. Not only mechanical and electrical guarantee, but a textile guarantee. You can try your hemp straw at our trial center in Cour-la-Ville, France, and you can go up to the final product together with our sister companies. For example, André's Perfojet in Grenoble to make wet wipes from hemp. Or you can make something other if you want. So, as Michael said already, there is no competition in the hemp market because there are too many applications. It's up to you to come to us with your idea and we will develop something new. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Of course, this topic is very interesting and we can go much, much deeper. And we are going to go a little bit deeper in the discussion. But if you want to speak to Galina, maybe you can have some matchmaking session with her tomorrow. So think about that. Now the floor is to Marta. We are going to a little bit move from, let's say, somebody who is offering technologies to somebody who is going from the different opposite way. So from the plant. So this is Marta.
Hello. I was already presented. I was working in the fashion industry with the biggest of the fast fashion for 20 years. And over the time, I realized that the impact that the fashion industry has in our environment. So I try to find some sustainable ways to solve this problem. I started to recuperating traditional textiles know-how, like linen, like the wool, And I also became a Fashion Revolution member in Portugal and also in Canada, or one association that have one international hemp fair. So the textile industry has a huge bad environmental impact. 10% of the global CO2 emissions, they are produced by the fashion industry. Also 20% of the water, the pollution of the waters, they became from the treatments that the fibers have, and also with the dyeings. And I should say more things, but I will resume this. 60% of the clothes that the world wears are made from plastic, and this is a huge problem. Only not only by the microfibers that they already have been found in the blood, human blood, also because they are discarded in the landfills, and they can take over 400 years to disappear, not disappear, but to decompose. And also the fashion industry have a bad social impact. I realized this in Portugal, so I can't imagine what are happening in the other countries. I saw poor working conditions, low wages, and exploitation of the labor. Also, it's very difficult to gain an economical value. Um, there are people that are doing traditional techniques like natural dyes, like swimming in a loom, and they have advantage age. So the young people doesn't want to learn that abilities because they know that they don't have a future. So also the fast fashion made cultural appropriation. They use cultural techniques from the other countries, and they explore that techniques. And this is not fair for the artisans and for our people. So when this idea became, I was trying to find a sustainable way and a sustainable fiber, and I became a volunteer in some projects. I started with wool and ended with the linen in 2016 till 2018. And in 2018, I found in a case hemp, and I said, no, this is my mission and I'm going to do this, because the hemp fiber, it's not the only solution for the fashion industry, but is one big solution. And I was trying to solve this problem, and I tried to introduce the hemp fiber in the fashion industry, and I have a big problem. No one of my partnerships, and during 20 years, I never had the hemp fiber in my hand, and they didn't know how to work the hemp fiber. They even know what is hemp. So it was a large work of research and try and fail with the machines that we had. We use linen machinery to try to produce some jerseys, some fabrics, and made in Portugal. But when I quit my job in February 15 days after the COVID came, so I was waiting for this project 1 year and a half, and the time is now, and the hemp is needed more than ever because the European strategy for the sustainable and circular textiles, we have one lead time to achieve these goals, and hemp helps a lot. Also, hemp contribute to the European Green Deal, and study says that the hemp textiles will grow 50% until 2028. So sustainability in textiles goes behind the mere creation of garments. It has to be a holistic approach from the beginning of the fiber to the end of the garment's useful life. This approach means the commitment to the idea that what we take from the nature, we need to give back, and in a way that sustains and regenerates our planet and in our environmental rather than depletes it. So my mission is create an innovative system in Portugal based on cultivated hemp fiber. I collaborate with farmers, with companies, with artisans, communities, and we are all together with universities, with associations, and we are trying to find a new solution and a good solution to achieve all these goals. So I created CCM based on these goals. I don't use any chemicals in my productions. I use natural dyes. It's a fair trade brand because sustainability is not only the environmental, but also social and economical. So I use eco design, minding, take back pieces, and of course I choose hemp because, as I said, and as all we know, the hemp regenerates our planet, and it's a regenerative raw material. And also with this project, I want to introduce in the artisans, they don't have access to the hemp fiber, and they like to work hemp fiber like before because Portugal have a huge cultural heritage from the hemp. For example, our king demanded to our priests to grow hemp because they were fundamental to our success on the navigations. And we found Brazil and we found India because we were months in the ocean, and the ropes and the sails, they were very resistant. Why? Because we grow a lot of hemp in Portugal, and we have a huge, huge cultural heritage. So this is not a target client. This presentation is not good, but where I already were already since CCM arrived, I started to do a lots of markets in Portugal because I'm an entrepreneur. I don't have any financial support. So the main objective I want is reach the most people to teach them about the hemp and the benefits of wearing hemp and what hemp could make in our environmental. So I already achieved universities, schools, museums, eco stores, and all over the world. I have some PCs and CM there, and they know the mission and they know the value of the hemp. So, I know I'm the right track because I already won some prizes and some contests. And even if I'm doing this alone with some people helping me in the fashion industry, also farmers, we are doing the collaborative way, but this is not supported. But I know my mission is right because I won these prizes, and it was good for the statement of the mission. And for I know I'm not crazy like most people say, but you are doing right. So these are some products that I have. I have artisanal products, I have industrial products, everything made in Portugal, everything made with organical dyes and natural dyes. As I said, it's nothing with chemicals. I have some partnerships. I introduce in some brands the hemp fiber, some projects that they have the same mission as me, and they are trying to solve some problems. I was doing this hemp campaign, in lots of events in Portugal and out of Portugal too, because my main objective is inform not all the people are here know the benefits of hemp, but the most of people don't know yet. I realize that, so it's important inform. So I was participating in many events talking about the hemp, what he can do in the textiles and the other areas too. So you can find us in Portugal or online or in markets, sustainable markets. And the future for CCM is have this collective colligation or ecosystem between all the areas and try to get the goals. And we are not against one another's, but we need to do this in a collective way and join forces to get the goals, because our goal is only one, to put the hand and hemp the world. So are we together? Yeah.
Thank you, Marta. I ask Lukasz to change the presentation, and Maciej can continue with his experience and approach.
Who is this guy and why is he here? As you mentioned, I've been in the hemp industry for close to 20 years, and I have to speak about 20 years of my experience in 10 minutes. So I chose to just show you around 20 pictures from what we're doing. This is a hemp farmer standing in a hemp shirt on a hemp field with a hemp flag of the Republic of Poland. I run a company called, I used to be like, how does it work? Yeah, this way. I used to be the activist for marijuana reform 20 years ago when Poland decided to put 3-year prison for possessing any amounts of marijuana, which is still the case actually in Poland. And for 10 years, I was involved in writing about marijuana, running a newspaper about marijuana, writing about it, and even participating in national elections with one aim, legalize marijuana. And then I was approached by a lot of people saying it's all bullshit, all that hemp industry is not happening because if it's really money in it, someone would be doing it. So I decided just to show you, just show the people in Poland that it's actually possible. So I started a company. It was 10 years ago. It was the first Polish industrial hemp company. I sold it 5-6 years ago to the Canadian holding. It was like prime time for CBD, and I exited the CBD market in the wonderful moment. And then I was bound by non-compete clause. I could not be working with CBD because of the non-competition, but I wanted to work with hemp. So that's how I got into hemp fiber, which is completely by accident. I just wanted to work with hemp, and that was the most difficult part that I've ever encountered. Hemp fiber was also the thing that was wrapping around the combine, wrapping around absolutely everything. So I founded with the money I got from selling the previous company, I founded Kombinat Konopny, which is a vertically integrated company. Right now we have 2,500 shareholders, which is a point against your remark that it is difficult to raise money, although in line with the remark from Hand Farm, that it's actually like raising a few million euros is a drop in ocean what is needed to actually build the industry. But we're getting there. So what's crucial about our company is we are a vertically integrated company. So we are growing hemp ourselves, harvesting it, decorticating it, processing, refining, making the cottonized hemp, everything that Galina was talking about. We are doing it, although on a smaller scale and on the simpler machines that we developed ourselves. Then we are spinning it into yarn and making all the process, moving up the value chain. Instead of going the American way of doing large scale, but just a single step, we are actually doing all the steps up the way to the consumer, because it's the consumer who is paying you. So the closer you are to the consumer, the more margin you're actually keeping to yourself. So that's how our hemp fields look like. Nothing compared to what you see in the pictures from California, where you have 1 plant per square meter and it's fully covered in sun and everything. And this is probably something you're used to see. Like half of you are probably growing hemp fibers, so you know how it looks like. That's less of a popular image, less of a popular picture. That's how we are actually doing our retting. And if you don't do your retting properly, then no matter how much amount of money you're going to put into processing, you're not going to get good quality fiber, and you're going to waste a lot of money on energy consumption. We are leaving our plants in the field for winter, which is called winter retting. I don't know if it's called winter retting, but I'm calling it winter retting, which is a twist on a traditional way of water retting, which is banned in Europe, which is not possible, and it is an ecological and economical nightmare. What we are doing is, instead of putting our hemp stalks into the pools of heated water, we actually keep them standing in a field, and all the rainfall, all the frost, all the snow that is falling is actually doing something similar to what is happening in the retting tanks, which is dissolving the glue that holds together the stalk and the fiber. When you're decorticating dry hemp, what you're basically doing is fighting against that glue that holds together those two valuable products, hemp sheaths and hemp fiber. Everybody wants hemp fiber, everybody wants hemp sheaths. No one wants your hemp straw. Hemp straw is the value of it is really, really low. When you decorticate it and you have two separate streams of products, you're already adding up some value. So we're actually getting that value for free, and nature is actually giving us back the nitrogen that's in those glues. The reason why water retting is banned in Europe is because you waste a lot of water and you introduce a lot of nitrogen into a system if you don't treat that water. What we're actually doing is that water stays in the field and it's feeding the next generation of hemp plant. I'm fully in agreement with the remarks that were made by Hanka about monoculture, that actually monoculture is the most natural thing ever. Without Homo sapiens, there will be no crop rotation. Nature does not do crop rotation. Nature is doing monoculture. Just monoculture doesn't necessarily mean it's somehow against nature or is it not eco-friendly or whatever. So that picture shows how our straw is looking when we are harvesting it, and you see that the fiber is already separated. So our decortication does not really need a lot of energy. We just need to separate those two. And in the 70s, the region where we are growing hemp, which is northeastern Poland, was tested for, is it suitable for production of hemp fiber? And the results were no. It's not suitable for hemp production. So why are we now doing it exactly in the same spot? Because back then, in the 70s, the main consumer of our hemp fiber was the Soviet Navy. We are supplying long strands of fiber to the Soviet Navy. Soviet Navy doesn't, fortunately, exist anymore. So we don't need to supply them with long fiber. And anyway, the Navy is no longer using natural products, for good reason, probably. And the official document from the 70s is saying that hemp cannot be grown in that region because it has a tendency to self-cottonize. Which means it's actually doing half of our job for ourselves, which is the beauty of being lazy. That's how it looks like. The whole harvesting equipment, some of you mentioned millions of euro that you need to spend on equipment. I actually spent around 2,000 euro on my harvesting equipment, which is a regular rake for straw, for regular straw. Although the whole stem, because it is standing, is still strong, slightly weakened, but at the very bottom, it was sitting in snow for several months. It's completely destroyed. The bottom 5–10% are completely destroyed. So you just have to slightly push it, and it just forms a windrow like that. That's my 2,000 euro harvesting equipment. And that's my UF bale. The baler, you have to use a belt baler. I don't know if you know the difference between a baler and a chain baler. We usually use those. And as for decortication facility, with having 2 minutes left, decortication facility, we build it ourselves. There used to be a lot of it in the 50s, in the 60s. We can get them on the scrapyard for something like 2 euro per kilogram. So my line cost me 2 euro per kilogram. The basic concept of fluted rollers and roller breakers and then pinned drums. Galina showed it perfectly on her diagram. That's a picture showing like the different steps of decortication and refinement, because decortication is the easy part. Retting and refining and actually adding the value to it, that's the difficult part. The shifts is obvious for everyone, but I just want to stress it that if you're running a fiber operation, you have to make money on the shifts, because otherwise you're going to be losing money. Actually, what I got from the US is that all the fiber companies are actually discarding fibers and just producing shifts, which is usually the stupid way as well. Non-wovens, Galina also mentioned that the low-hanging fruit of the hemp fiber industry. Not all of the fiber you will be growing will be spinnable. You cannot make yarn of absolutely all fibers. So we will always have the second quality fiber or the non-cottonized fiber that you can actually use for all kind of applications. We use it for horticulture as a water retention thing and an weed suppressant. We use it for actually growing psilocybin mushrooms. It's actually good for keeping the moisture in. We use it. I thought there is also one picture. We use it as a rodent mat for small animals. We also experiment in using it in reusable nappies as the inner part that keeps the moisture in mattress producing, etc. And the most important part of what we are doing is actually producing yarn. We are doing it in-house. blending with cotton from Europe. We cannot grow cotton in Poland. I'm like 3 seconds above time, but I'm just going to be finishing in like 30 seconds. That's our spinning mill. It's an open-end rotor spinning that was designed actually very nearby in here. It's the Czechoslovakian BD200 open-end rotor spinner. A very simple machinery that was not designed for hemp. But I spent like, I don't know, 5 million euros on equipment altogether, and I don't have a single piece of equipment that was designed for hemp. If something is designed for hemp, it's going to cost you twice the amount of money as the things that do exactly the same job as was not designed for hemp. So we have all those things, including the t-shirt right here. So afterwards, you're welcome to see and touch them. These are all made vertically under one roof. And the QR code is getting you to my LinkedIn because I was stupid enough not to take my business cards with me. So forgive me if I'm not giving it to you. It's not because I don't like you. I just left my hat someplace. So if you just scan it, it gets you to my LinkedIn, which is the surest way of getting to reach me. 11 minutes, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maciej. As you can see, we have quite a wide range of the attitudes, and we have to somehow arrange ourselves in it. So my first question that came to my mind was how do we understand the self-sufficiency that we are supposed to speak about in this panel? What level do you think we are self-sufficient on? Does it make some sense for you? So do you want to start, Marta?
Okay. I only will speak by myself. I CzecHemp. I try to make everything locally made in Portugal. So we have a great country to grow hemp. Like I said before, we have the historical heritage from hemp. We have 18 hours of light per day. We have a good weather, so we have farmers. We also in Portugal, it's known in Europe like a huge incubator of a textiles industry in the north of Portugal, where I'm placed. So, as I said before, I'm trying to use Portuguese fiber, introduce them in fashion industry, textile industry. The problem is the separating the fibers. We don't have the corticator in Portugal, but we have other companies that are already invested in the corticators for other kind of roles. For example, for the construction, there's one the corticated that was bought in the United States, and the separates the fiber. That fiber it's not good enough and it's not clean enough to introduce them to the textiles. But we have another one that will arrive in 2026 with another company. It's especially made for hemp textiles, but I will not wait till 2026. So I was trying the traditional way also, because in Portugal we have some knowledge, traditional and ancestral knowledge. And actually I found by enzymatical process a very clean fibers with no impact, environmental impact, with now no chemicals, with no bleaching. This is a new technology. It's being developed by in one university and one another company that are investing in many ways of extracting biomaterials. And this, I have the results, the last results for 3 weeks ago, and I think we have the solution yet in Portugal. I need to test them, but I didn't get time enough. But I think I already see by my eyes, and not doing tests, the same fiber that like I buy from the north of Portugal. So I think I'm on a good way to be sustainable. I understand the sustainability. We need to see, first of all, in the small scale, and try to enlarge to the other countries, because each country have his own rules around hemp. For example, in Portugal, We have lots of problems to grow hemp. We need to request licenses. There's a lot of hobbies, so our farmers have lots of problems with the policemen. So for me, I try to be autosufficient with my grows in Portugal that have licenses and with the machinery that I have, with the industries that I have, and all the collaborative partners that I have. So I try to see, first of all, in the small scale, and then if it works, try to grow. Also, we need to see the demand. If you don't have demand, or if you have a large demand, we need to see if we have material enough to produce. Because, for example, in fashion industry, the way how the consumption are, we will not get enough raw material in hemp to supply all the fashion companies and all the brands. We can't change immediately from the cotton to the hemp because it's not possible. We don't have, we don't, even if we plant, grow hemp in all the Portugal, the demand it's superior because we are talking about the fast fashion. So we will never have hemp enough. So this must be a systematical, holistic change, and between all the roles, the buyers, the brands, and try to load the consumption and the production without demand, and then try to work on autosufficiency.
Thank you. Maybe Galina or Michal, anybody wants to put his point? Yeah.
So material self-sufficiency, yeah? This is the grand topic. Okay, so self-sufficiency is actually the core essence and value proposition in our business case, because at Papex, we utilize tens of thousands tons of wood cellulose, yeah, basically paper. And the step to move away from paper, basically avoid deforestation and create self-sufficient source of material, this was the empowering idea and accelerator to decide to start growing hemp. So the idea behind this is actually, or the question, when will other companies from the diverse industries that we talk about, be it in automotive or in non-wovens, when they will start creating their own material supplies, basically. This is the main point, because we had an era of globalization. Yeah, we could pull any material from the planet, sugarcane, Mauritius, no problem. Hemp from US to Europe, no problem. The times are changing because of COVID, because of the logistic chains and so on. So in fact, the essence of material sufficiency is already a value proposition itself for companies. So if you approach the right partner, if you approach an industry, and you can prove them, hey guys, if you think about your material today, it might help you not being out of business tomorrow. So this is the grand idea, grand agenda. So again, our core mission is very simple. We want to move away in the next 5 years from wood to hemp biomass. And we've done our homework, we've done our research, we see the cons, and this is our decision. And I'm sure a lot of industries will follow. It's just a chicken and egg problem. Somebody has to start.
Any of you? Do you want to add anything? So,
Yeah, so when it comes to self-sufficiency, I actually understand it two ways. One is a macro and the other one is a micro level. So one is the geopolitical level that you've mentioned, that supply shocks, COVID, like a criminal from Kremlin invading our neighbor. That's what's happening, and it's actually influencing our supply chains. European Union was founded on the idea of, one of them was common agricultural policy, to make sure that we produce enough food to feed ourselves no matter what's happening in the world. And we don't have anything close to that when it comes to textiles. We used to have it before the 90s, like our countries, Polish, Czechia, we used to be large producers, but it all disappeared after the fall of so-called communism. So we are absolutely not self-sufficient. And we do grow some cotton in Europe. So I look at it European scale. Like each of our nations cannot be self-sufficient as we're too small. either France or Ukraine or Poland, we are too small on a global scale. Together as Europe, we are actually a global player. So if, for instance, we are taking Greek cotton and somehow blend it with Polish hemp, we can actually triple the production of textiles by what's happening in Greece. So that's one idea. And the second one, maybe less popular, is being vertically integrated means we are actually self-sufficient as a company. And it is the model that Henry Ford was building his automotive company on. He was not like Mercedes today, just connecting parts made by other producers and then crying, well, the supply chain is broken, I cannot supply you with my car because some supplier of my supplier got somehow wronged by someone. We are trying to do as much as possible and then for the end product to be 100% European, and so that I can actually say to the end consumer that I was present personally at every stage of the production, which is what people claim to want. Sometimes their claims are not in line with their purchasing decisions, because if it costs a few cents more, because you're actually paying European wages, not Bengali wages, then the consumer has to pay slightly more for that. But we see that more and more people start to understand it, that actually by spending money in locally, in the companies that pay their wages locally, you're actually paying money to people that are your own customers at the end. If we are sending money away to buy American products or Chinese products, money is not coming back to our continent.
There was a suggestion from the audience. Maybe if you could pass the things to show. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the bioregional approach. In fact, this is my heart topic. I was somehow like developing this idea for long for myself and so on. So this is something I like to develop a little bit more. First, let's see it from the opposite way again. Meaning, what do you see as materials, hemp-based materials that might be crucial for our self-sufficiency and self-dependency? What for you is the material that is a like game changer, let's say, made from hemp?
I'll just continue my speech or whatever. I'm in the textiles, so I believe the textiles is like by volume of because my background is in herbal part. So CBD is obviously a market we all know, but when it comes to how many hectares you can actually grow for CBD, that's like by the factor of 1 to 100 when it comes to textiles. What you've mentioned in Portugal, there's not even enough land to grow for it. We used to have in Poland 30,000 hectares of hemp, which is still not a lot compared to 12 millions of hectares of arable land in Poland, but you cannot go there by CBD alone. You cannot get close enough. Grain is definitely what's happening, and I don't really see the need for any breakthrough. Everything is on the right path. I've been observing this industry for 20 years, and it's actually we couldn't possibly hope for more than we're getting. And if we are in 20 years' time as far from today as we are today from 20 years back, we can actually congratulate ourselves. So there is no need for anything else than patience, capital, and hard work.
Wow, thank you for these words. It's encouraging. I see all of you are in fibers, and you just all got this magazine, freshly printed canopy. Some of you can read it, some of you can't. And there is an article I just wrote for the magazine dedicated to fibers. And one part of it for me, it was very nice to read about that the first findings of fibers processing was in Dolní Věstonice and Pavlovické Vrchy, and it's like imprints of ropes on the pottery, and it's 27,000 years old. And the researchers, they were just so excited about that fact that those people were able to process fibers already. That is not clear what type of fibers those are. but they said like we underestimate fibers in development of our culture and civilization. We have Stone Age, we have Iron Age, we have different type of ages, and we kind of forget that there is a textile structure that is completely form our societies for thousands of years. And this is something that I'm sharing with you, the passion for fibers. So, okay, that's nice. And to continue this, now I can see in France, in Belgium, in Poland, wherever, this shift of deglobalization, shortening supply chains, really like big companies, even big companies trying to make them self-sufficient in materials. So maybe, Galina, can you see in your daily business life that this movement is already somehow like imprinting itself into the market, and you have more demands or like new demands, or what type of customers are reaching you now for your machines?
I think that, yeah, the hemp market changed already our way of thinking, not only at La Roche, but at Andres too. Yes, thanks to various ideas to replace cotton, for example, or to replace wool fiber, or to replace glass fiber, or to replace polyester fiber, and to be more sustainable. Yeah, we applied cottonized or refined hemp fiber to our machines, and yes, I think we can be self-sufficient. At least I can speak on behalf of my French partners. In France, right now, we grow 2,000 hectares of hemp, both for seeds and for fibers, for textile applications, for nonwovens, for automotive, and so on. And I think we can make even better, because the demand is huge and the supply is not sufficient. Yes, we do not have enough cottonized fiber for textiles, for cotton type yarn. We do not have a lot long fibers, and the demand is huge. We do not have a lot cottonized bleached hemp fiber for nonwovens, for hard yarn. Even in France, we do not have enough. So I think, yes, we can be self-sufficient, but we need to scale up and to grow more hemp.
Okay, thank you. Michal, maybe you want to add anything to that?
No, I'm good.
Okay, I will ask you anyway.
I knew you.
For me, let's play some kind of role game, because we can see that we have here some producers and of machines. So for me, I was thinking, what is your dream customer? What is the customer you would imagine that you are looking for?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit?
Yeah, sure. So I have a little bit more capitalistic approach, if I can put it that way, to this question. Because at the end of the day, the balance sheet matters, because the finance has to make sense. And I would like to emphasize about the necessity of going into products that indeed have economical sense. Yeah, so for example, we had some examples with plasma today. Yeah, this is obviously a huge market. It's a very high technological barrier, extremely high technological barrier, but you can see that this is something that is unique. There is almost no competition in this market. So referring back to your question, the ideal customer would be someone who can utilize the materials that we produce and bring it into a completely new niche where there's sufficient capital and sufficient margin to cover everything. Because this is maybe a question to Maciej also. Do you think that the raw materials from hemp that are on the market today, do you think they're undervalued or overvalued? How would you say it?
The price is at the reasonable level, but the quality is not in line with the price. So they are definitely overpriced compared to the stage of development that they are at.
Thank you. So this is again back to refer to you, to your question. You're multitasking. Awesome. Yeah, we need interesting new niches. Let's not compete with hemp products against established industry. I already said this. Let's explore new niches where hemp can truly show its unique organic properties and take a good premium on this product, which can cover the costs of all of this. Because running, to be honest, I saw balance sheets of decortication plants all over the world. Like, comme ci, comme ça. It's not a gold rush business. It's not super interesting. So where the interest comes from is indeed in interesting products, and this is something that I would like to encourage, enforce, and just simply discover such products and bring it to the customer who values this, like Sensi, for example. And there are customers who are willing to acquire this product and support through this the entire value chain. This is kind of my type of customer.
Thank you. Galina.
About a dream customer?
Yeah, your dream customer. I'm really curious about that.
For me, personally, every customer coming with a hemp in his eyes is already a dream customer because I'm like him. And it's my favorite customer at La Roche and at Andres. Yeah, you are already a dream customer, guys.
And when you turn it back to you, guys, what is your dream machine? What is something that you really need now that can move you forward and help you?
I actually dream up machines every night, and then my colleagues are unfortunate enough to have to build them. But basically, I have the unpopular position of claiming that there is no problem with machinery in hemp. Really, it's like some of you mentioned, I forgot in one of the previous presentations, that no one will be buying equipment dedicated for hemp for 5 hectares. But what I've been doing for the 10 years that I've been growing hemp is trying to somehow influence the plants, the agriculture, in a way that allows me to use regular equipment, as I showed you with the harvesting ones. So when it comes to textiles, we are using cotton machinery, which didn't change much for the past 200 years. I was recently in the museum in Manchester. We were basically machines from 150 years ago, and it was like a snapshot from my factory. We basically use the same. What La Roche is doing is obviously much more better quality and the monitors and sensors everywhere, but basic idea is the same. We've mentioned that people were doing fibers thousands of years ago. It's not a high-tech solution. And I'm like, a lot of companies try to outcompete themselves who is a more high-tech. We are the lowest tech possible. And that's actually, as the end consumer, you are paying for all the ideas about high-tech, all the patents. What for? We've been there. We've been like 100 years ago, Polish scientists, Czech scientists, Soviet scientists, they knew everything about how to transform the plants into fabric. So what we are doing is rediscovering it, reintroducing it, rather than just saying, well, the Americans will obviously say that they invented it, but, well, they thought that their content was invented. Well, we just traveled there. My dream machinery would be everything that I actually have in my facilities. The good thing about used machinery, like I've been speaking with a few of you and showing you pictures of machinery from the 50s, from the 60s. They literally cost like scrap metal. You need to have the knowledge and the experience to experiment with it. But I also seen decortication facilities in the US that were built up from scratch with new machineries, with millions of dollars, with people with zero knowledge, with zero prior experience. And if you put a bale of unrated, you just believe like, well, hemp is hemp. I'm just gonna put hemp inside and gonna get money out on the other end. Well, it doesn't work that way. You've mentioned that decortication facilities balance sheet is, well, moderate to say the best. I'm losing money on decortication. I'm losing money on agriculture. I'm basically losing money on every step of the way until you reach the consumer. So unless you move up the value chain, and you need all the machinery on every stage. So I'm going to the ITMA in Shanghai, which is the International Textile Machinery Association fair, to actually see what machinery is out there and to somehow flex myself into the existing machinery rather than pay the engineers to build a machinery for me, because at the end of the day, it's the end consumer that is paying it, and he will not be paying for my fantasies. He will actually pay me to be a optimized operator. So no need to dream up machines, although I'm doing it. Just use what's available, and there's a lot of it. And we are the first generation that have this comfort, this great opportunity. You just type in youtube.com and you have every machine that you can possibly dream of. You can just try different languages because a lot of them are either in Russian or Hindu or whatever, but they're out there. So no need to dream them up.
Thank you. Marta, you want to add your dream machine?
I totally agree with him. I'm working in Portugal with the machinery that I have, and I have products made with hemp, with the machinery, with the cotton machinery and the linen machinery. My dreams machinery is one machinery that works with no impact in the environmental. So we already have the machinery, but we need to think about it, the footprint that machinery will leave in our garments or in our products. That may be my dream machinery, because as like he said, it's everything already have been done before. In Portugal, for example, till the 70s, we were working with hemp. Our government allow our fashion industry work with hemp. We have that machinery, but now we need to think about other problems that the machinery brings to the products and to the hemp textiles. So I totally agree with him. The customer will not pay our fantasies for our products because they are too much expensive, because we spend 3 million euros in one dream machinery.
Okay, thank you. I will give a floor to you, so there is a place for your questions. I just wanted to conclude this, that, for example, in Slovakia, where I live now, one guy, he discovered very nice publication used as a base for how it's called, like scripts for students in high school and higher schools in textile production, with all machines drawn, with all the formulas, physical formulas, what type of... And this is the heritage that we have, exactly what you said. And when we dig in and we research that, we might be much more feasible to go and easier to go forward. Okay, so I saw Maren's hand. Maren.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Super, super interesting. I have a question to, I would say, Marta and Maciej. I met Dionysu, a colleague of yours in Vienna last weekend, or the one over. And he made a very, very sarcastic comment, because that was a cannabis/hemp expo. And he said, look around you. Everyone here is running around with a polyester shirt that has the leaf printed on it. But nobody actually wears real hemp. They just run around and talk about it. And I would like to know from you, what is your, not so much a dream, but what is your strategy to maybe involve not so much only the choir? I mean, obviously events like this are great, they're needed, but we always talk to each other and we're actually all aware of the problem. But how many of your customers are actually coming from the hemp space, and how are you trying to reach the ones outside?
I honestly totally don't care about people in the hemp industry. I mean, we are, with all due respect to each other, we are a niche in a niche. We cannot sustain a textile industry. Like, there was a nice picture of how many oil seeds are there out produced, and the oil seeds from linen and hemp, and we're in the same situation. Like, our enemy is polyester, not cotton, not wool. Like, these are all natural products. Our esteemed colleague from Bohemia is telling me, people will not buy products just because they are hemp. We may be going to be buying them. So unless I want to produce 50 shirts, not 50,000 or 500,000, I need to make them available to people that don't care about this being hemp. They do care about it being sustainable, being locally made, being nice to touch, being durable, which is also the case. And in this, we have a unexpected ally in form of the European Commission, which is starting to talk about the measures. So that's a lingo in Brussels language. It means we're going to do it in 15 years from now. But they are aware of the fact that what we are doing right now is externalizing the environmental cost to Asia, because the textile producing, apart from sewing itself, but for knitting and spinning itself, the labor cost is not that high. So why not do it in here? Because of the environmental issues. So at the moment that European Union introduces some kind of duty on a border that says if this product was made not according to our standards, then you're actually going to have to pay. That's when it is going to change. And we actually see the change in the mentality that people... So what I'm stressing outside of hemp conference is made in Europe with hemp, not made with hemp in Europe. And that's, I believe, is the way forward.
Thank you. More questions? Okay, I saw the hand there first.
I hope Rick is not here to tell me about all the bad things I said about the US. Sorry.
That's why he's here.
Hi, no, I'm from Mexico. Thank you very much. Super inspiring. This is what I was needing to hear. My name is Mariana Larrea. I am a cannabis attorney, and I've been working in cannabis since in Mexico we start with the regulation, 2016. And these last 2 years, I decided to quit the firm and to come and start with hemp projects. So the first one was the first hemp living development in Tulum. This project failed because at some point I started realizing the partners were using the hemp as only a commodity and trying to sell more land because we were saying that hemp was in the project. And in the moment the partner told me, we're not Greenpeace, I say, I'm out of this. So now I am starting my own project, which is a hospitality and healing retreat, also in Yucatan, but in Mérida now, which is one of the 5 most security cities in the world. And I am struggling a lot with investors because it's really difficult for me to make them understand that we really need yes, obviously to invest more for the construction, and obviously in Mexico, come on, Mexico is one of the first countries producing cemento, concrete. So is there any financial advice that can help me to make them understand that we need to invest in hemp in the beginning, but in the future, this is going to be good but for the business, but more for the business, for the environment and the construction with hemp and everything we're doing. The passion for the industry, I have it. And I talk with them with passion. They believe in my passion. But I need more than passion for making this possible in Mexico. And I need a financial argument that help me with them. So I don't know if you have any advice or any experience like what you've been doing. And I'll be super happy to listen. Thank you.
We probably have a completely different optics on it, so maybe I'll just get a few words and then I'll pass the microphone. My advice is cut out the middleman, because what happens is regular people that share your passion go with their saving to the bank. You go to the bank and the person at the bank doesn't actually care about your passion. He just cares about the balance sheet. And even if your balance sheet is okay, they're going to tell you, well, that's all drugs. And you're going to say, well, hemp is not drugs. And compliance will come in and they just say, screw you. So what we did is we cut out the middleman and we went directly to regular people. We raised altogether like 3 or 4 million euro from 2,500 people. So the average investment ticket, as it is called, was around 1,500 euro. It's actually quite easy to convince someone to lend you or invest in you €1,000. Much more difficult to convince someone to invest in you 10 millions of euro because they don't care about the passion. So if what you are selling is your passion, then go to people that actually care about it, which is the regular guys. And now
Thank you. No, actually, I totally agree with you. I wanted to say it more from a financial point of view. You should narrow down basically know your customer. And I was speaking before about creating unique products from hemp. Don't try to compete with hemp with cement. Don't try to compete with typical buildings or typical products that you have in the market and change them for hemp. Instead, approach these people with a hemp product or a visual or I don't know some sort of a project that is built on hemp properties. I'm sure Techno Canapa can help you presenting a project that is built on hemp and presenting those hemp properties. And we're doing the same thing in Ukraine. Actually, Ukraine is ultra hard environment, especially now to build something from hemp. But the first people now who try to approach us want to build something from hemp are people from recreational business, from tourism, people who are building yoga studios, people who are building ski resorts, people who are, so we narrow down because they understand, this is something you said, they understand the topic. We're not trying to go to the cement producer and say, guys, stop it, it's bad. They will never do it. They will never do it. It's their business, it's their core sense of existence. But trying to identify people who understand the properties. In Mexico, you have Azulik. It's entirely built from sustainable materials. Who are those suppliers? How did they find them? Try to answer this question. Okay. No, but you get the point. It's about narrowing down the focus, basically. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Just one more word about the passion. Just don't overdo it when you talk about it, because the argument hemp will save the world closes the discussion. Don't say it because it's not true. Say, I'm gonna make a packaging, a regular thing, then people will believe you. If I understand Czech properly, it says konopi je žebede všech lék, which probably means, is it a cure for everything, right? So with a question mark, and that question mark is really important, because if you're gonna go to the investor and say, hemp will solve all the problems in the world, then you're loco. They will not believe you, because it's not true. So just passion is all right, but within a frame that you're gonna actually show how you transform this passion into revenue-generating business that will sustain itself. Because I've seen a lot of people from our previous activist days, they had all great, good ideas, but they didn't know how to monetize them. And then you run out of money and your idea is dead. So if you want your idea to live longer than you will live, then you just have to make it self-sufficient. Yeah, self-sufficiency.
Great answer. I would say we are running definitely out of time, so there is no more space for your questions, but there is a space for your talks during the coffee break. And if you have any more things to speak about with our lovely guests, please make a reservation in the matchmaking list and you can speak with them tomorrow morning.
May I steal 1 more minute? Because I just got a remark to the question that was asked about the guys carrying polyester shirts about hemp fairs.
So 10 words for each of you if you want.
All right. Half of the hemp textiles you have ever seen are cotton. The easiest way to produce a hemp product is to ask the Chinese to put a label that says it's hemp. So if you have this opportunity to send it to the lab, especially if you're a distributor and you are sourcing the textiles and you're making clothes out of it, and you say, I'm making hemp shirts because I bought something that is called hemp, but it's actually imported from wherever in the world, a lot of people are not very honest about their products. So believe me, a lot of hemp products are hemp in name only.
It's true. I already tasted some of them, and they are cotton.
Which is the bad news, but sorry.
Okay. So such a nice discussion, and we close it with very sad statement, but never mind. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a nice break. See you later.